okay, so here's quick tips on how to get buy-in from your staff, or anybody's staff really, just to if you want to start making changes in your business. And this was something I had issues with for a long time, working with other people's employees, so we had to find ways to win them over. But we also kind of realized that for the most part, like if they didn't do it, there was really no point in making the change. Because and I tell a lot of clients now, like, I care more about making your staff happy than making you happy. And it's not saying that to be mean, but realistically, like, they need to feel heard in order to actually implement change, which is going to make a financial impact or a cost impact, or to accomplish whatever they need to. So one big thing is just involve the staff in every part of the process. And if you ask for their advice or how they feel about like changing a process, allow them to give it and actually listen to them. There's a good chance they work there, that they have systems that have worked, even if they're not quite as ideal as they should be. So the second thing is have group meetings and actually make it a round table. Like, give everybody an actual amount of time to talk, and then don't let them go past it. Even if they're a little bit kind of quiet or don't necessarily want to talk as much, they definitely have an opinion about what the business is doing. And if they're not opening up, there's a good chance it's because they don't feel like they can without being scrutinized. So you want to have this nice open platform, and anonymous surveys work well for that. Just like I said, having these group Zoom calls where there's just no judgment about, hey, how is your work affecting your workflow. Like, for example, one thing we did a meeting with the company recently, started going about it, and then realized that one of the employees was kind of had some thoughts about like just how long one task was taking them. They were making agreements for on behalf of the firm, and they were taking about an hour per agreement. So once we realized that what we should focus on, as opposed to focusing on just, hey, how are these guys going to make more money, we realized, hey, we need to give these guys their time back, so that way the staff feel rewarded and valuable, because they are. And then that's kind of a big thing. And then one big thing about it too is if you want to get buy-in from your staff, it has to come from them. So allow them to take ownership throughout the process. And the biggest thing about taking ownership is just having them in the process. If you bring in some automation consultant or a freelancer, or maybe you hire like a data scientist or something, just explain to them what the process is like, but actually like what's in it for them. Because if you've kind of been absent a little bit from the actual company for a while, or at least like as far as being in their business, the last thing you want to do is to get your employees to feel like you're just like micromanaging them and spying on them and everything, which of course a lot of softwares will allow you to see your stats, but a lot of employees, or just people in general, aren't going to think about the fact that we just want to know your numbers to see like where our company's going. Or for spending money on ads, your salespeople, we want to know how many calls you're doing to see how much money it actually takes to acquire a customer. But for example, that might really throw those people off, and especially if you've been somewhat of not even necessarily an absent boss, but if you haven't been like a data-driven company before, it's going to be really important that you get buy-in from people on all this and allow them to understand why it's important. So guys, like I really want to know how many calls and emails you're sending per day, just because I want to know that, I know I'm overspending on marketing, and realistically, I know you guys are following up and chasing leads that like aren't making you money. The majority of them probably aren't any good. I really want to find that out. Like, would you help me do that? So little things like that are really, really good. What's going to cement in that buy-in from your staff, and especially like, when I work with the company, we're more or less screwed if we don't get actual buy-in from the staff and good, build good rapport with them. It's really important. And then also the other thing too is you want them to feel comfortable going to you also. So if you, for whatever reason, this is something you're up against, throw down in the comments just kind of how exactly you'd like to work with your staff, or maybe you're a B2B service provider and you need help actually getting buy-in from other people's employees. We've created a pretty cool system for it, but a lot of it just boils down to, for one, you have to care, and two, you have to actually charge enough to like spend the time with people, and then three, there's for one, you just have to not necessarily be attached to the fact that, hey, like, they don't want the same thing that the boss of the company does. because there's a good chance that if the boss of the company starts making a bunch more money, start automating things, and they start running more ads and getting more people in the door, there's not a lot in it for the actual staff members. So that's just kind of my tips and everything. If you need anything else, drop it down in the comments. I'll talk to you later.